Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it.
The day began like any other. Nathaniel had planned a special evening for Antonia's birthday, carefully saving every penny from his part-time job to buy her the perfect gift. His excitement was palpable as he walked down the busy streets, his mind buzzing with anticipation. The small jewelry box in his pocket felt like a precious secret waiting to be revealed. As he passed by Otto's Diner, a local establishment notorious for its grumpy owner, Nathaniel's attention was drawn to a commotion inside. Curious, he peered through the window and saw an elderly couple standing at their table, their faces flushed with embarrassment. Otto, the owner, was yelling at them, his voice loud and harsh. "You think you can just sit here and take up space without ordering enough?" Otto bellowed. "This isn't a charity." Nathaniel felt a surge of anger. He pushed open the door and walked inside, his steps determined. The patrons turned to watch, sensing the tension in the air. "What's going on here?" Nathaniel demanded, his voice steady. "These folks have barely ordered anything, and now they can't even pay their bill," Otto snapped. "They're wasting my time." The elderly man looked at Nathaniel with pleading eyes. "We didn't realize the prices were so high. We just wanted a small meal." Nathaniel's heart ached for them. He glanced at the jewelry box in his pocket, then back at the couple. Without hesitation, he pulled out his wallet and approached the counter. "How much do they owe?" Nathaniel asked. Otto smirked, clearly enjoying the spectacle. $25. Nathaniel counted out the bills, handing them over. "Here, this should cover it." The couple's eyes widened in surprise and gratitude. "Thank you, young man," the woman said, her voice trembling. "You didn't have to do that." "It's the least I could do," Nathaniel replied, offering them a reassuring smile. Everyone deserves a little kindness. As the couple left, Nathaniel felt a sense of satisfaction wash over him. Despite the nagging worry about how he would now explain the lack of a gift to Antonia, he exited the diner, the sun setting behind him, casting long shadows on the sidewalk. Later that evening, Nathaniel arrived at Antonia's house, his nerves on edge. The party was in full swing, laughter and music filling the air. He spotted Antonia across the room, her eyes lighting up when she saw him. "Hey, you made it," she exclaimed, giving him a quick hug. "Did you bring my gift?" Nathaniel hesitated, then took a deep breath. "Antonia, I need to tell you something. I had a gift for you, but I spent the money to help an elderly couple who were in trouble." Antonia's smile faltered. "You, what?" "I know it wasn't what you were expecting, but they needed help, and I couldn't just stand by." Her expression shifted from confusion to frustration. "Nathaniel, this was important to me. You know how much I was looking forward to it." "I understand," Nathaniel said softly, "but helping them felt like the right thing to do." Antonia shook her head, turning away. "I can't believe you chose strangers over me. Maybe you should leave." Stunned, Nathaniel walked out into the cool night air, his heart heavy. He had hoped Antonia would understand, but instead, he found himself alone, questioning if he had made the right choice. As he wandered the streets, Nathaniel couldn't shake the feeling that despite the personal cost, he had done something worthwhile. Little did he know, this act of kindness was the beginning of a journey that would change his life in ways he couldn't yet imagine. The next morning, the sun shone brightly, but it did little to lift the heavy weight in my chest. I trudged to school, my mind replaying the events of the previous night. Antonia had ignored my calls and texts, and I dreaded our impending confrontation. As I entered the schoolyard, I spotted her with her friends, her face a storm of emotions. "Antonia," I called out, approaching cautiously. Her friends glanced at me, then quickly looked away, sensing the tension. She turned, her eyes cold. "Nathaniel, I don't want to talk to you." "Please, just hear me out," I pleaded. "I never meant to upset you." "Upset me," she scoffed. "You humiliated me, in front of everyone." "I didn't mean for it to happen that way," I said, my voice earnest. "I was trying to help those people." "But what about me, Nathaniel?" Her voice trembled with anger. "What about my birthday? You didn't even get me a gift." "I was going to," I explained. "But when I saw the Thompsons being treated so badly, I couldn't just stand by." "Well, you did," she snapped. And now everyone thinks I'm dating some kind of hero wannabe. Antonia, that's not fair, I said, frustration creeping into my voice. I did what I thought was right. Right for them, maybe, she retorted, but not for me. She turned to leave, but I grabbed her arm gently. Please, Antonia, don't do this. I care about you. She yanked her arm away. Maybe you should care about someone else. We're done, Nathaniel. Her words hit me like a punch to the gut. I stood there, watching her walk away, feeling a mix of anger and despair. The schoolyard seemed to close in around me, whispers and glances adding to my humiliation. Hey, Nathaniel. A voice interrupted my thoughts. It was Jessica, a friend from my math class. Are you okay? I forced a smile. Yeah, just having a rough day. I heard what happened last night, she said sympathetically. It was really brave of you to stand up for those people. Thanks, I muttered, but it cost me my relationship. Antonia will come around, Jessica said, offering a reassuring smile. She just needs time. I nodded, though I wasn't so sure. As the day dragged on, I tried to focus on my classes, but my mind kept drifting back to Antonia's harsh words and the looks from my classmates. Lunchtime brought little relief as I sat alone, pushing my food around my plate. The afternoon bell finally rang, and I headed home, feeling defeated. As I walked past the park, I heard a familiar voice. Nathaniel, wait up. I turned to see Mr. Thompson and his wife approaching. Their faces were lined with concern. Are you all right, dear? Mrs. Thompson asked, her voice gentle. I shrugged. Not really. My girlfriend broke up with me because of what happened last night. Mr. Thompson frowned. I'm sorry to hear that, son. But please know that what you did meant the world to us. We were in a tough spot, Mrs. Thompson added. And your kindness, well, it was a godsend. I smiled weakly. Thanks. I'm glad I could help. Mr. Thompson hesitated before speaking again. Actually, we were hoping to talk to you about something important. Would you mind coming by our shop tomorrow after school? Curiosity piqued. I nodded. Sure, I'll be there. As I walked away, I couldn't help but feel a glimmer of hope. Maybe this unexpected turn of events wasn't all bad. Maybe there was something more waiting for me beyond the heartache and confusion. The thought lingered in my mind, offering a small beacon of light in an otherwise dark day. The next day, anticipation buzzed in my chest as I made my way to the Thompson shop. The small antique store stood at the corner of Elm and Maple, its window filled with curiosities that hinted at stories from the past. I pushed open the creaky door, the scent of polished wood and aged paper welcoming me inside. Ah, Nathaniel. Right on time, Mr. Thompson greeted me with a warm smile. Come in, come in. Mrs. Thompson emerged from the back room, wiping her hands on her apron. We're so glad you could make it, dear. Of course, I said, curiosity getting the better of me. What's this all about? Mr. Thompson exchanged a glance with his wife before turning back to me. We wanted to thank you properly for what you did at the restaurant. You already thanked me, I replied, confused. That was more than enough. Well, we thought of something more, Mrs. Thompson said, her eyes twinkling. You see, our shop has been struggling lately. We could use some help, and we think you're the perfect person for the job. Me? I asked, surprised. What could I possibly do? Mr. Thompson chuckled. We've seen how you handle difficult situations with grace and integrity. Those are qualities we value highly. We'd like to offer you a position here, helping us run the shop. The offer took me by surprise, but I don't know anything about antiques. That's all right, Mrs. Thompson assured me. We can teach you everything you need to know. I hesitated considering the offer. The prospect of a steady job was appealing, especially given my family's financial struggles. Plus, the Thompsons' faith in me was a rare and welcome boost to my confidence. All right, I said finally, I'll do it. Wonderful. Mrs. Thompson beamed. Let's get you started right away. Over the next few weeks, I immersed myself in the world of antiques. The Thompsons taught me about different periods and styles, how to spot genuine pieces, and the art of restoring old treasures. I found myself fascinated by the history behind each item, each one a piece of someone's life story. One afternoon, as I was dusting an ornate clock, the doorbell jingled. I looked up to see Antonia standing in the doorway, looking hesitant. My heart skipped a beat. Hi, Nathaniel, she said softly. Antonia, I replied, trying to keep my voice steady. What are you doing here? I wanted to talk, she said, glancing around the shop. And apologize. I put down the cloth and walked over to her. You don't need to apologize. Yes, I do, she insisted. I was wrong to judge you so harshly. I've been thinking a lot about what you did, and I realize now how brave and selfless it was. I nodded, unsure of what to say. I miss you, she admitted, her eyes searching mine. Can we start over? Before I could respond, Mr. Thompson walked in, a smile spreading across his face when he saw Antonia. Ah, young love, it's a beautiful thing, isn't it? Mr. Thompson, I said, turning to him. This is Antonia. Nice to meet you, Antonia, he said warmly. Nathaniel's told us a lot about you. She blushed slightly. Nice to meet you too, sir. We were just about to have some tea. Mrs. Thompson called from the back. Would you like to join us? Antonia looked at me and I nodded. Sure, we'd love to. As we sat down for tea, the atmosphere was warm and inviting. The Thompsons shared stories of their past adventures, and I could see Antonia slowly relax, a genuine smile appearing on her face. It felt like a new beginning, not just for us, but for me as well. Later that evening, after Antonia left, Mr. Thompson pulled me aside. You did well today, Nathaniel, he said, patting my shoulder. I think you have a bright future here. Thank you, sir, I replied, feeling a sense of accomplishment. As I locked up the shop and headed home, I felt a renewed sense of purpose. The future seemed brighter, filled with possibilities. I couldn't wait to see where this new opportunity would take me. The months that followed were a whirlwind of activity and learning. Each day at the Thompsons' antique shop presented a new challenge, and I relished every moment of it. From early morning inventory checks to late-night restorations, I poured my heart and soul into the business. Mr. and Mrs. Thompson became my mentors, guiding me through the intricacies of the trade with patience and wisdom. One crisp autumn morning, as I was meticulously polishing the vintage mahogany desk, Mr. Thompson approached me with a thoughtful expression. Nathaniel, he began, we've been thinking about expanding the business. There's a property next door that's up for sale. What do you think? My mind raced with possibilities. That sounds like a fantastic idea. We could use the space to showcase larger pieces or even start offering workshops on antique restoration. Mr. Thompson nodded, a spark of excitement in his eyes. Exactly, and we want you to lead this new venture. Me? I stammered, taken aback. Are you sure? Absolutely, Mrs. Thompson chimed in, joining us. You've shown remarkable dedication and talent. We believe you have the vision and drive to make this expansion a success. Touched by their confidence in me, I agreed to take on the challenge. Over the next few weeks, we worked tirelessly to prepare the new space. I drafted plans, coordinated with contractors, and even designed the layout for the workshop area. The grand opening was set for mid-November, and the anticipation built with each passing day. As the opening day approached, I was a bundle of nerves and excitement. The shop was abuzz with activity, with deliveries arriving, shelves being stocked, and final touches being added. The Thompsons had invited local dignitaries and loyal customers, turning the event into a community celebration. On the morning of the grand opening, I stood in front of the mirror, adjusting my tie for the umpteenth time. You look great, my younger sister, Emma, said as she peeked into my room. You're going to do amazing, Nathaniel. Thanks, Emma, I replied, giving her a grateful smile. At the shop, a small crowd had gathered, and a ribbon adorned the entrance to the new space. Mr. Thompson handed me a pair of scissors. The honor is yours, Nathaniel. Taking a deep breath, I cut the ribbon and the crowd erupted into applause. The event was a resounding success. People marveled at the curated selection of antiques, and the first workshop session filled up within minutes. The Thompsons beamed with pride, and I felt a sense of accomplishment unlike anything I had ever experienced. Later that evening, as we cleaned up, Mrs. Thompson pulled me aside. Nathaniel, we need to discuss something important, she said, her tone serious. Is everything all right? I asked, concern creeping into my voice. Yes, everything is fine, she reassured me. But we want to ensure the future of this business. We're considering retiring soon, and we want you to take over as the manager." My heart skipped a beat. I don't know what to say. I'm honored, but that's a huge responsibility. "We have no doubt that you're ready," Mr. Thompson said, joining us. "You've proven yourself time and again. We trust you to carry on our legacy." Feeling a mixture of humility and excitement, I accepted their offer. The next few months were a blur of meetings, training, and planning for the future. Under my leadership, the shop thrived. I introduced new marketing strategies, expanded our online presence, and even organized community events to attract more customers. One evening, as I was locking up, Antonia stopped by. "I've heard great things about what you've done here," she said, her eyes reflecting genuine admiration. "I'm proud of you, Nathaniel." "Thank you, Antonia," I replied, feeling a warmth in my chest. "It means a lot coming from you." As I watched her walk away, I realized how far I had come. From a 17-year-old boy defending an elderly couple in a restaurant to a young man managing a successful business, my journey had been one of growth and discovery. And with the Thompsons' trust and support, I knew I was on the right path, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The news of Mr. Thompson's passing hit me harder than I could have ever imagined. He had become more than a mentor. He was like a second father to me. Mrs. Thompson, devastated by the loss of her husband, decided to retire and move closer to her family. It was a bittersweet transition, as she handed over the keys to the shop and all the responsibilities that came with it. "Nathaniel, we always knew you were destined for great things," she said, her eyes welling up with tears. "This shop is your legacy now. Make us proud." "I will, Mrs. Thompson," I promised, holding back my own tears. "Thank you for everything." With a heavy heart, I delved into the world of managing the entire business on my own. The first few weeks were challenging, balancing the day-to-day operations with the emotional weight of the Thompsons' absence. Yet their faith in me became a driving force, pushing me to honor their legacy in every decision I made. One afternoon, as I was sorting through some old documents in the back office, I stumbled upon a letter addressed to me in Mr. Thompson's handwriting. My hands trembled as I opened it. "Nathaniel," it began, "if you're reading this, it means I've left this world. I want you to know how much you meant to us. Enclosed with this letter is the deed to our estate and all our business holdings. You'd have shown us that kindness and integrity can transform lives. Use this gift wisely and continue to make a difference." I could hardly believe my eyes. The Thompsons had entrusted me with everything they had built. It was an overwhelming responsibility, but also an incredible opportunity to make a lasting impact. Inspired by their trust, I began to devise a plan. I decided to launch community initiatives that would not only honor the Thompsons' legacy, but also give back to those in need. The first step was to establish a scholarship fund for underprivileged youth, enabling them to pursue their dreams just as I had been given the chance to pursue mine. At the scholarship fund launch event, I stood before a crowd of community members, feeling a mix of nerves and excitement. Mr. and Mrs. Thompson taught me the true meaning of generosity and compassion. I began. "This scholarship fund is dedicated to their memory and to the belief that everyone deserves an opportunity to succeed." After the event, an elderly woman approached me, her eyes filled with gratitude. "My grandson will have a future because of this scholarship," she said, clutching my hand. "Thank you, Nathaniel." Touched by her words, I felt a renewed sense of purpose. The next initiative was to transform the business itself. I wanted to create a model of social responsibility, ensuring that our practices were ethical and our impact positive. I reached out to Antonia, who had since become a successful marketing executive. "I need your expertise," I said during our meeting at a cozy cafe. "I want to rebrand the shop and highlight our commitment to community and sustainability." Antonia smiled, a glint of admiration in her eyes. "I'd be honored to help. Let's create something truly special." Together, we launched a new marketing campaign, emphasizing our eco-friendly practices and community outreach programs. The response was overwhelming. Customers flocked to the shop, not just for our antiques, but for our mission. Months passed, and the business flourished. We expanded our community programs, offering free workshops, hosting charity auctions, and partnering with local organizations to support those in need. The Thompsons' legacy was alive and thriving, and I felt a deep sense of fulfillment knowing I was honoring their memory. One evening, as I locked up the shop, Antonia joined me. "You've done something incredible here, Nathaniel," she said softly. "The Thompsons would be so proud." "I couldn't have done it without them," I replied, gazing at the shop sign glowing in the twilight. "Or without you." As we walked away hand in hand, I knew that this was just the beginning. The Thompsons' gift had given me the chance to build a legacy of kindness, integrity, and hope. And with Antonia by my side, I was ready to face whatever the future held, confident that together, we could make the world a better place.